Right now it's the driest it's ever been since I've had the land for 4 years. So I'm trying to tune up these wet spots on the trail. I don't have the big tractor here, the Kubota, because it's at our land. God, these black flies. It's at our land right now where we live to gather the logs for the cordwood house. But so I have to make do with the Ford. But even though it's the driest it's ever been, it's still too wet in these spots, it looks like, to do much good. The tractor was biting in there. You can see the ruts. Trying to smooth them out so when they do dry, the rain will just shed off if I slope them correctly, and then they'll stay dry instead of having that rut where the water collects. So that's my plan anyway. But I'll see what I can do here with the back blade and try to make it better than it was. Looks like my nice clean tractor is going to get a little dirty today. That's not working too good. But I do have another trick. What I think I'm going to do is hook up my disc. And then I'll disc this. It'll put a bunch of grooves in it, and then it'll dry out. The problem is it's Friday, and my in-laws are coming tomorrow, which if I leave for a couple hours isn't the end of the world. But Sunday it's going to rain a lot, so if I'm going to fix it, I got to fix it before Sunday. And I also have a bunch of trees to plant. So I have to get that done today because I can't do that when my in-laws are here, and I'm not going to be doing it in the rain Sunday. So I would like to get them in the ground. The sooner the better. That's the plan. Maybe grab the disc. Disc these wet spots, get them to dry out over the course of the day, and maybe toward evening see how it looks. And then tomorrow, disc it again toward evening, so it brings up a little more wet spots, and then it'll dry out tomorrow, and hit it like maybe in the afternoon tomorrow. Now I got the disc on. This works pretty good for drying out trails and then leveling the dirt, because you got your ruts and everything, and this will pass through and just chew it all up, and then you can come in after it's dry and then shape it. So that's what we're gonna have to do. So we'll get started. I think you can see all these black flies there flying around right now. They're horrible. Can't even open your mouth with these flies. It's unbelievable. Gotta put my little head net on. Screw them. I was thinking that while I was on the tractor doing this, that maybe the back blade isn't the best idea either when I'm done. I could actually I bought a 3-point cultipacker. I might come in here and use that, or even the drag. I think would smooth it out a little bit better. I would like to take the back blade and angle it a little bit and hit these ditches. The bulldozer, when he came through here to tune these trails up, it was a really bad time to do it. It was I'm keeping this down. It was really wet, and he couldn't do what he wanted to do. But that was it took months to get him there, so we had to do, we had to go with what we had for weather at that point. But anyway, there was a lot of humps on the edge of this trail. So I want to take that dirt and get it toward the center. So I may take my back blade and angle it on the sides and get that dirt toward the center, and then come back with either my drag harrow or my cultipacker and see how that works. I've never used a cultipacker, so I'm not sure what it will do to this. But I know the drag harrow would shape this pretty well too. So I don't know if you can see all these black flies around me right now. It's insane. That's what's nice about Wisconsin, though. You're never bored with what's going. There's always a season. Okay, so January, you know, we got 50 below, up to 50 below weather, super cold. We got snow, obviously, deep snow. Then we kind of get into the spring where it's muddy, and then it kind of all transitions. It's really nice. So then we got the mud, and then you get tick season, and then that kind of just rolls right into black fly season, which kind of transitions smoothly to mosquito season. And then you get your hot and your humid, and then it goes back to tick season. And then there's this 2-week window in October where it just makes it all worthwhile, and the leaves are changing, and it's dry, and it's not too cold, and it's just awesome. And then you get to November where it's just everything's dead and cold again. And then back to the snow. But that 2 weeks, that's what you live for. That's what we got. It's nice that having a disc is a little, you know, it's more handy than just doing food plots like this trail maintenance stuff and tuning these trails up. It works pretty well. So it chews this up, levels it out, and kind of, you know, you can hit the high spots and it'll bring the dirt to the low spots a bit. And right now it's created a bunch of surface area, so it'll dry out. The sun and the wind can hit a lot more surface and dry this out. So this is what we got the next day after it dried. You can see it's a little lighter colored. On this side I just passed through it again. So it's a little darker, which is all the moisture in the soil. So I was just gonna hit it again before I switch to my back blade and come back here in a couple hours and just get the high spots on the edges and drag that dirt into the middle is where I want it. And then I'm gonna come back here with the drag harrow, hit this, and break down all the clumpy spots, the clumps and stuff, break them down a little finer for the rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain like 1 to 2 inches, so this will be a big, this will be kind of a test once I get it done, if the rain will shed off and not create any wet spots. So right now I'm just kicking off the rocks and then hit all this one last time, and then we'll go get the back blade. These areas, I'm gonna come in here and hinge cut the sides to thicken up the sides and let in more light to these trails. And I'll just plant these trails in a clover mix. That way they'll take a little bit of abuse from the tractors, and then also they'll become areas where the deer will feed for clover during the summer time, and then my actual food plots, I won't have to put those in clover. Those will just be more for fall food. So it'll kind of free up space for my food plots, because the clover can take more grazing pressure than the brassica and other fall food plots, the winter rye and stuff like that. So that'll free up my fall food plot areas so I can pack more food for fall.
Rudy. Rudy. Hey, you gotta learn. Hey.
Come, Rudy. So I'm starting to shape the trails with this back blade, and after I roughed up the ground with the disc, it's actually working. I don't think I'll need to drag it with the harrow or even do it with the cultipacker. Plus I'm running out of daylight. But by adjusting the blade, tilting it down for the ditches and bringing the dirt up from the ditches, angling the blade forward on the left-hand side, I can bring the dirt up out of the ditches and into the center of the trail. And then now I'm straightening the blade, and then I'll just gather the dirt from the high spots and feather it in the low spots by just lifting the blade as I go when I hit a low spot. So it's actually working pretty well, and it's smoothing the trail out. So when it rains tomorrow, up to 3 inches apparently, hopefully that water, even though it's not compacted, it'll hit the ground evenly and then kind of run off on the edges and stuff. But as long as I don't have ruts when I leave, it shouldn't collect anywhere. So, other than the ditches, which is what I want. Because I like those ditches, because we want as many mosquitoes as possible. And we're doing a really good job. That worked pretty well with the back blade. You can see I shaped it. I took off all the little mounds and stuff that were by the ditch, pulled them to the center, and then try to get a little bit of a crown in here. And you can also tell that I'm not digging in at all with the tractor. So that dried it out really well with the disc. And the back blade smoothed it out really well. So we'll check back in a couple days after we get 2 to 3 inches of rain and see if this worked. I can always come back with the Kubota and my other back blade, which has a really good tilt on it, and also I can swing it out to the side, because with the Ford I have to get right on the edge to pull that material up. And even then, with the blade swung over to pull it up into the center, it's actually inside the wheel base, or whatever you want to say. But with the Kubota, I can get in here with 4-wheel drive and swing that back blade off to the side and really get those ditches cleaned up. Because there's a lot of material that doesn't need to be in there in that ditch. It could be on the trail to get this thing even higher. But I think this is going to work really well. I don't think we're going to have any issues with this, so. But we will find out in a couple days. So stay with us.